We're here at this beautiful residence today in Bixby, Oklahoma. This homeowner really wanted an outdoor space that essentially was her park for herself. Had a fountain at her previous home that she really wanted to recreate and have that same feel and vibe going on at her home. So I'll walk you through kind of from the beginning of the property and my favorite walkthrough of the home and kind of the senses that I feel whenever I come to see this project and why I love it so much. Front, we really haven't done much. It's basically been the builder installed package here on the front. We have installed a flower bed on the other side that kind of complements and balances the house nicely. But the front has really pretty much been left alone from once the builder installed. But if you're following me back to the back, I'll show you kind of some of the process and some of the stuff we've done for this homeowner. We'll start here with the hardscape walkway, paver walkway here. This homeowner, she's a little bit elderly, so she needed to make sure she had a nice stable walkway to and from the gates to the backyard. So we installed a hardscape walkway here with landscape on the interior side here as it would complement the house better, and it really just didn't make sense to go with turf. As I'm sure maybe you can start hearing now, but you can hear water running, which is one of my favorite things about running through that gate is you'll start to hear water and wondering kind of where this walkway leads you. So if you follow me through, I kind of see the transitions here. You can see the walkway, the landscape. We did landscape lighting as well, so she has a lit path all the way to her gate. And then here is really the showcase, the fountain of hers. That's one of my favorite transitions there, is whenever you come around that corner and you finally get to see what you're hearing from the gate. That sound is just beautiful. I'm sure many of her neighbors can hear this, and it really is just kind of a serene feeling and sound to see that. Also installed here were drainages for all her gutters. So all the water here is managed and taken out to the street. So that way she doesn't have any possible standing water anywhere or any deviation of any of the mulch. We did just have a bunch of torrential storms, so we had a bunch of water and a lot of displacement of mulch and stuff at the moment, but that drainage really helped to alleviate a lot of that extra erosion and water problems that she would have had she not had that drainage. So this here behind you was actually the kitchen, and then we'll go the living room here, but this view was the main focal point for the homeowner, was she wanted to be able to see her fountain from her living space, which basically comes down to the kitchen and the living room. So from any angle in her home, she gets this beautiful view of the fountain, as well as the beautiful backdrop here of the trees, with the accenting and complementing landscape throughout both sides of the walkway here. We do have a provision for possibly eventually adding on the landscape and going to the other gate on the other side. But for now, considering that was made into a larger double gate, actually in this whole process, we decided to leave it as turf instead of continuing the pathway to allow equipment and machines to get back here easily. One thing that we were requested upon the design, originally we had kind of spec'd just this cobblestone look. We were asked to break up the cobblestone look, break it up a little bit. And we actually blended the outdoor cobblestone border here with a natural flagstone, which really, right now it's a little bit wet because of the rain we've been having, but whenever it's dried up, it really brings that orange out of the flagstone and brings that bronze and the browns out of the cobblestone. It complements itself really well. Really, the process here was pretty straightforward. We started off with the walkway that we walked in the beginning. And then once that was completed, we actually went on to do the rest of the hardscape while we were waiting on the delivery of the fountain. Once the fountain was delivered, we were able to set that in place and build the entire irrigation and landscape around the project. We did sleeve accordingly and everything, so it was a relatively easy project to put together once all the hardscaping and everything was done. But initially, we started, like I said, with the walkway to get us access to that gate and to kind of work our way out of the project. So we started at the gate, worked our way all the way back until the point where we actually left, and we left out of the back gate, and we didn't actually create any mess anywhere else here. If you'll follow me, we'll get this view from this other corner here, and looking back at the house. The homeowner here, they really wanted something low maintenance that was gonna be fairly easy to maintain but get a lot of color. And again, she wanted something that gave her kind of year-round interest. So in the next month or so, we'll be switching out for new annuals. The roses will be in season for a few months. And then once we go into the winter season, you'll get some transition of a couple of trees in the back and then some red twig dogwoods here. That'll give us some winter interest, so that way everything doesn't just go dormant and bland. She'll have some evergreen because of the boxwoods, the evergreen trees in the landscape, and then as well as, like I said, those red tips. The fountain will stay running most of the season, usually about the same time your irrigation's running, the fountain runs. It has landscape lighting in the fountain as well, so she's able to change those colors and really adjust those colors to how she's feeling with the season, which is, I think, kind of a neat little feature. This has really become one of our favorite projects here, really because it hits home for a lot of our our core values. Resourcefulness being one of them, with the fountain being delayed and the shipping. We didn't want to delay the timeline for the homeowner any, so we went ahead and did the hardscape ahead of time before setting the fountain. We actually had to use different resources, different equipment to set that fountain afterwards. I love it because, again, the teamwork aspect of our core values. Every single person in our company set hands on this fountain, on this project, and still continue to take care of this project, whether it's the fountain irrigation, landscape, or general maintenance here. Everyone in the company is really involved with this particular property. The biggest one was customer perspective. You know, we really got to have this idea of this homeowner. She had this fountain that she loved in California. She had this idea that she wanted in her backyard, this park for herself, and she's looking to slowly morph and build onto this essentially park for herself. So really proud of how this project turned out, you know, and at ARC Outdoorsman, we really just love to get people outside, love to get people to enjoy their yard, enjoy their space that they're given. And you know, we really love the opportunity we were given here to be able to dream with the customer here. So if you happen to have a dream for your backyard, if you happen to have an idea, and you really don't know where to start, we encourage you, give us a call. You know, we'd love to help make that dream a reality, and most of all, we'd love to get you outside.